Hey, Mark. Hey, I'm Zach from American Income, Local 277. I talked to you yesterday about your automatic group benefits. Yeah, by the way, is Beth here? The reason I asked is because the benefits apply to her as well. Do you guys have a table we can sit at? It makes everything easier to go over with both of you. Awesome. How's your guys' day going so far? Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. If Mark, if you don't mind sitting right here, Beth, if you sit right here, I'll sit right here, and we'll go over everything together. So Mark, how long have you been with the union? Nice. What job they got you on? Oh, how long have you been doing that for? Do you like it? Yeah, pays the bills, right? Beth, what do you do for work? Nice. How long have you been doing that? Okay. Well, I'm glad I even made it out to see you both today, due to how busy they have me helping all the members in the area. The enrollment period is coming to an end pretty soon, so my schedule has been very full each and every day. I just got done helping a few families before you guys, and I've got three members left to take care of once I'm done with you here, of course. So, Mark, Beth, is this the first time you've been visited by an AIL Union Benefit Advisor? Really? The reason I ask is because you're supposed to be visited each year by a Union Benefit Advisor such as myself. Each year when members in good standing send in for their automatic group benefits, it's my job to make sure they're delivered and gone over. That way you both know how they work. They also have me review your permanent and portable programs, but those you should have already qualified for when you first joined the union. Mark, in fact, do you have a blue folder that looks just like this? No? Okay, have you already qualified and activated your permanent and portable union benefits? Okay. Do you go to your union meetings? Do you at least read the newsletters? I kind of skim through them. No problem. I'll back up so you both know what's going on. So as the letter states, American Income is a private union benefit company that provides exclusive services to all members and their families, such as yours and mine. They have me go over the automatic group benefits, and they also do the permanent and portable programs. So Mark and Beth, as the letter states, they have me here for two important reasons. One is to go over those automatic group benefits that you sent in for. That way you both know how to use them. And second is to review your permanent and portable programs that stay with you throughout your entire lifetime. If you don't already have those, it's my job to help you qualify and activate them while I'm here with you today. That way they're working for your family like they're supposed to. Now, Mark and Beth, just so you know up front, everyone wants the permanent benefits, but not everyone can have them. If you're too high of risk, unfortunately, I can't help you. If you do qualify, they have me help you activate them while I'm here with you today. Either way, whether you qualify or not, there's a union report form that gets sent directly back to your union and lets them know that I was here and did my job to help you out. Is that fair? Mark, your first automatic group benefit is your $2,000 certificate of coverage. This is your handwriting on this card, right? Now, your union made sure that all members in good standing had these because they want to make sure that everyone I visit has at least something there immediately, because not everyone can qualify for the permanent and portable programs. And our commercial life insurance, which most of us already have, whether through work or outside of work, are taking 3 to 6 months on average to pay out to our loved ones left to handle everything. Did you guys realize that? Yeah, it's causing far too many life-changing problems for so many families in our community, and even more nationwide. That's why this is so important. Now, they designed this certificate to be exactly like the permanent and portable programs, but the only difference is that these are for less coverage and for accident only. But Mark and Beth, $2,000 there immediately to help pay for things and get things going now is far better than $50,000 paid out 3 to 6 months down the road. Wouldn't you say? So Mark, you have Beth listed as your beneficiary. Is that still correct? Alright, so they're going digital with everything. So I'm going to send you a text and an email so you have it for your own personal records. Is this email still the best email and best text? Okay, I sent that. Let me know when you got it. Sometimes it takes a little bit to send the whole PDF. Technology is great, has its pros and cons, but yeah, let me know when you got it. Alright, perfect. So you have that for your permanent records. Any questions? Perfect. Now the next automatic benefit that your union made sure you had is your health services membership discount card. This is for all members in good standing. Now they realize that you already have health insurance, so this isn't designed to replace that. This basic program is at no cost and can save you 20 to 60% anywhere your health insurance doesn't, for things like eye care, prescription, hearing, and chiropractic care. Now, the Gold program covers all that, but also covers dental, supplements, and travel assistance as well. But your union doesn't take care of that one for you. If you do select the Gold option, you'll need to send a $25 check or money order that covers you and your entire family for the year. Now, either way, whichever program you go, you need to fill out this envelope, which whichever program you select, and you tuck it in here and you mail it in. Here, I'll rip it out for you. And then in about, at the minimum, most 2 weeks, you'll get a card that looks just like this. Okay? Pretty great benefit, right? Yeah, did you know they did this for you before now? Now, the next benefit is the Child McGruff Safe ID Kit. This is extremely important to have filled out for your kid's safety. Lord forbid something ever does happen to him. These are designed to send an Amber Alert sooner rather than later. With some statistics, 93% of kids that do go missing don't return home after just 24 hours. Even more shocking, after just 3 hours, 74% are never heard from again. These kids give all the information that the police need in order to set up a 60-mile perimeter within 60 minutes, which gives your children the best chance at returning home safe and being found immediately. Lord forbid they ever did happen. So they have me go through this kit with you. Make sure you know how to fill out all those important parts so police have all the information they need to effectively find their children. Now, the McGruff department is asking that every parent I visit help pay it forward and get a McGruff ID kit into the hands of any parents you know for their children's safety. The mission is to get a McGruff kit into the hands of every parent in the community, and eventually the entire country. So is there anyone you know with children that will need a McGruff kit for their child's safety? Okay, yeah, your brother. Now they have me make sure that the parents you're thinking of need to be at least 18 years or older, otherwise it needs to go to an older guardian. They also have me check that, make sure that they're not on any probation or parole. Okay? So Mark, you said your brother had kids. What's his name? Alright, perfect. Remind me to get these processed before I leave here today. Okay? They're very important. This is the Family Information Guide. This was designed to be utilized with your will or trust. Do you have, Mark or Beth, a will or trust in place? No. All right, that is extremely important. You need to put that on your to-do list. Now, this isn't a will. A will is going to assign your assets and requires an attorney present to sort through all the legal jargon. This just has all the information that your family needs to know when you pass. They have me go through the most important boxes with you so you know how to fill it out correctly. This first box is your vital statistics. This has everything that a funeral director will need to know in order to issue a death certificate out. And you're going to need a death certificate for any life insurance you have to come in once you pass away. And since that commercial life insurance is already taking 3 to 6 months to come in when something happens to one of you two, make sure it's not any longer than that. Does that make sense? Okay. Persons to be notified. This is extremely important. These are your emergency contacts. Anyone you trust to be there and help out in your time of need. They're saying to list 5 people in your local area that can answer and respond right away when you need them. The reason they're saying listing 5 is because statistically with smartphones, 1 person in every 5 that are called will be able to answer and respond right when you need them. So if you list 10, 2 are statistically guaranteed to be there and help out. That's why they have most members list 10 now. Does that make sense? Alright, so who's the first person that would be there for you? They have me go through your first 5 with you, and then the rest is homework for you later. So who's the first person that would be there for you in case of emergency? Okay? Now, your union has asked American Income to issue all of your emergency contacts a $2,000 certificate of coverage because they realize that there's a high possibility that their financial burden will fall back on you when something happens to them. And since they're most likely non-union, their life insurance is going to take a few months to come in and help out. They want to make sure there's at least $2,000 there immediately, so there's less out of pocket for both you and their family. So be sure to remind me to process these before I leave here today. It's very important. All right. Now, persons to be in charge of final arrangements. This is obviously where you will list each other. But say you pass together in a car wreck. Who's going to be the person in charge of taking care of everything? Okay? That's the person you're going to put there. And make sure to let them know that you've chosen them. Okay? Gotcha. Financial institution information. This is just so your family knows what bank accounts to close or get the processes started in collecting whatever money is left inside them. So I'm assuming you guys have a regular checkings or account through a regular bank or credit union. You want to put that information right here. Estate information. This is extremely important. This is probably the most important box on the family information guide. I don't know if you guys knew this, but last year, over $50.4 million of life insurance went unclaimed. Yeah, families left behind didn't know there was any life insurance, didn't know where the policy was located or what company it was through. So they've created an itinerary of anything that will be there to help out, any life insurance you have or anything that's going to be there immediately for your family. So you guys have something through work. Yeah, okay. Put that there in pencil because it's really good to have. But as you know, it goes away or greatly reduces 31 days after you change jobs, get laid off, or retire. So put that in pencil so you can update that when it changes. So your family's not expecting that money to be there when in fact it's not. Now, do you have anything outside of work? Do you know the difference? Do you know much about life insurance? There's 2 main types. Term is usually generally covered over a term, a 10, 20-year term. And then the premium jumps up or you just let it go away. And then whole life stays with you for your entire life. Term life is generally cheaper in the short run, covers you. You get bigger coverages for a shorter amount of time. But whole life is a little more expensive, but you lock it in at that premium for your entire lifetime. Okay? So be sure to put that there. Now, Have you either one of you guys thought about what you will do when you pass away? Earth burial, cremation, mausoleum. Either one of those are extremely expensive nowadays. Earth burial was $6,000 to $8,000 5 years ago. Nowadays, it's anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. And even though cremation is cheaper, inflation is affecting that much more, supply and demand, since more people are going that route now. They're saying in 10 years, the cremation is going to cost what a casket costs today. Isn't that horrible? Exactly. Now, do you have any questions on how to fill this part out? Do you have any questions on anything I've gone over so far? Well, it looks like we have time to go over the permanent and portable programs. But before I forget, let's make sure to get those McGruff kits and certificates of coverage processed for your emergency contacts and everyone you listed. Let's start with your emergency contacts. Who was the first person that was going to be there for you? Are they married? Or do they have a spouse? Okay. The information and the benefits apply to both spouses. Okay, what's the best number for home office to reach them to validate the mailing and delivery address to make sure these get processed for them as soon as possible? Now the people I'm helping to process and get approved to receive these will be getting a phone call from home office or myself just to make sure that they get to the right people and not the wrong people. You need to let them know that. And be sure to let them know how important these are as well. Because if myself or home office gives them a call to go over it and they don't know what's going on, they're not going to be able to process anything for them. They'll flag it as a fraudulent extension of benefits. I don't want that to happen to you guys. So which is why I'm giving you guys a heads up. These McGruff kits will be there for their kids' safety and make sure the police can set up that 60-mile perimeter within 60 minutes. Lord forbid something ever happens to their children. And those certificate and other union benefit will be the strongest protections that are there for their family immediately. Now, Mark or Beth, do you guys text? Do the people you're sending these certificates to, do they text as well? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a text that you can forward to them. That way they know what's going on, they're in the loop, which they'll appreciate, I'm sure, right? Okay, I just sent it. Let me know when you've got it. Alright, does that make sense to you? And do you think that they'll be able to understand everything? Feel free to customize it however you want. Alright, go ahead and send that to them while I bring up the information for the permanent portable programs. Oh, and if any of them text back or call, let me know so while I'm here, I can go over anything they need to know or any questions they have. I'm actually licensed to do the screening and verification call, so home office doesn't have to and gets done even quicker. In fact, most families have me call anyone who could take a call just to make sure these get processed and approved even quicker. So is there anyone you want to put on kind of a higher priority that can make sure to get these out to them this weekend? Alright, go ahead and give them a call and we'll go over everything with them together. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Awesome. Now, I forgot the letter. I'm going to pause it. Alright, this is the mandatory read-off letter. They have me read this to every member before going forward. All this is saying is, Dear Abate member, the insurance programs being offered to you today are being made available on a voluntary basis through the cooperation of the Abate and AIL, a company that has a long-standing history of serving associations and their families. AIL currently has over 110,000 motorcycle enthusiasts covered under AD&D policies at no cost. Since 1990, More than 7 million in total benefits have been paid to motorcycle enthusiasts and their families. In fact, this is the Labor Advisory Board. They consist of over 71 different union labor leaders and association presidents at an international level. They're the ones who suggest and advise on where the most severe holes and gaps are in your coverages. They provide solutions to those problems. Their solutions are rated A+ superior by AM Best. AIL is rated so high due to their claims paying ability, overall operational performance, and financial strength. So they must be doing something right, wouldn't you say? Exactly. So this is saying AIL's supplemental benefits are not in competition with any group benefits through your workplace or employer and can complement any insurance policies you may already have. If you choose to take advantage of any insurance programs offered through AIL, your benefit program is permanent and portable throughout your lifetime. They realize that we all have something in place, whether through work or outside of work, that we are expecting to get the job done. But those benefits are taking too long to come in and help out. And we lose them 31 days after we change jobs, get laid off, or retire. These programs are not designed to cancel or conflict with anything you already have. They're designed to supplement and strengthen anything that's already in place. These are permanent and portable union benefit programs, which means they're the only benefits that are going to be with you throughout your entire lifetime. American Income Life provides insurance services to millions of policyholders throughout the United States, Canada, and New Zealand, and has over $50.4 billion of life insurance in force. If you qualify, your coverage lasts a lifetime and is under your independent control. Once the program has been explained to you, we're sure you will agree with the many participating members how valuable this program can be in a time of need. In fact, this is Linda Klein, your statewide membership secretary, who is endorsing this letter and actually putting a lot of pressure on AIL to make sure you, as a member in good standing, understands and can take advantage of these benefits so your family has the strongest solutions for them possible. Now they're saying there are several benefits available. Please take a few minutes to listen to the AIL representative who is visiting you. That's me. If they can help you with your needs in this area, please take advantage today. We would like your feedback, so please take a minute to complete the report form. This information helps us serve you more effectively. Ride safe, Linda Klein. The reason they're saying today is because you only have one visit each year. Waiting a whole year is too long. A lot can happen. They ask if the programs make sense while you're here to try and qualify for them. So like I said, waiting too long, a lot can happen. And as of today, if you qualify, these will be active, then you'll be caught up with all the members who already have them. And either way, whether you qualify or not, they need your opinion on this report form that gets sent back to the abate. Is that still fair? Alright. Now you can see why AIL was chosen to do the union benefits. Because they realize that 31 days after you change jobs, get laid off, or retire, your benefits go away or greatly reduce. These are permanent and portable programs, which means they stay with you throughout your entire lifetime. Does that make sense? These don't work with just veteran associations, police, and firefighters. They work for over 51,000 groups, are rated A+ superior, and over 8 million members worldwide are enrolled and protected. So once again, they must be doing something right, wouldn't you say? Now, just because the abate gave you access to look into these doesn't mean you're automatically enrolled. You do have to qualify, so they have me ask you a few pre-qualification questions just to make sure you're not too high of a risk. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So there's no major red flags. Those are just the prequel. There are some more at the end that we'll get into. But yeah, I don't want to let you through. I don't want you to take you to Disneyland, get you all excited to see Mickey Mouse, and then not let you through. Okay? Now, these programs are based on an hour power philosophy. Has the debate let you in on what hour power is? They haven't? Well, hour power is an old union principle that states that each member take the first 1 to 2 hours of their wages and set it aside to protect themselves and provide for their family's future. Now, setting aside 1 hour of your wages each week is 1/40th of your income. And that doesn't make a difference on your lifestyle, does it? Exactly. Any financial planner would tell you to set aside 15 to 20% of your income to do the exact same thing. Mark and Beth, your programs are based on 1 to 2 hours, which is only 2.5% to 5% of your income. That way, all members can afford to protect their future. Now, every family has a different need and a different situation and a different hourly wage. So, granted you qualify, they have me go through the needs analysis with you and make sure, and it takes into account things like family information, insurance benefits you already have in place, current age, and current income. Because every member has a different want and a different situation, that's why they have us meet with each member on an individual basis. So Mark, how much do you make on an hour? 25? Well, I'm going to show you what setting aside $25 will be doing for you and your family for your years to come. Okay? Now, just like any other enrollment period, there are some paperwork that needs to be filled out while you're here, granted you qualify. It's not something that can be done later over the phone. Okay? Is that fair? Not sure. Now, there's 3 major areas they're concerned with. First is if you get injured any type of accident on or off the job. Second is when you pass away, your final expenses that your life insurance won't cover. And third is your paycheck protection for your family. So the first area they're concerned with is if you get injured in any type of accident. Mark or Beth, have either one of you been injured and had to go to the accident or had to go to the emergency room? Okay, have you given much thought into what you will do when you get injured and need to go to the emergency room? Well, the Labor Advisory Board and AIL have given it a lot of thought. Their concern isn't that your medical bills will be taken care of, because that's what health insurance is for. And if it's on the job, workers' compensation will be there, and most members have some form of disability. Their concern is with the loss of wages and all the additional expenses that start adding up. Mark, say you fall off a ladder, you get in a motorcycle accident, and you need to go to the emergency room. Well, your medical bills will be taken care of. Is anyone paying you to be there? No. And Beth, when you get that call, you won't be working because you'll be right there by his side, and vice versa. And God forbid, something happens to any one of your children. In that case, no one's working. You guys are both right there. Ground zero. Okay. So Mark, if you, Beth, or any of the children do get injured and need to go to the emergency room, when that happens, they're going to send you $150 just for taking the time to get that injury looked at. And that's for any kind of injury. Whether it's on or off the job, you need stitches, or you scrape your knee. As long as you walk in, check out, that $150 gets sent directly to you here at home. Now, the only exception to that is if they need you to stay overnight in the hospital. In that case, they're going to send you $300 each day for up to an entire year. Now, realistically, you won't be in the hospital for a whole year. Say it is a bad motorcycle accident and you need to stay in the hospital for that week. That's what? $2,100 that will be there for your family for that week. Now, Mark and Beth, let me ask you. When that money comes in, that $2,100, will that be enough for your family during that time? Good. The reason I ask is because it needs to be. Now, the only exception to this is if you need to get sent to the ICU. In that case, they're going to send you $600 each day you're in the intensive care unit for up to 2 full weeks. Now, the reason it's $600 because when you're in the intensive care, it's usually life or death. Okay. Now, there's 2 ways you really leave the intensive care unit. You get better, and you get sent back into in-hospital care, and then that $300 each day gets sent to you and your family. The other way is when we need to start talking about the freedom of choice. That's the second area they're concerned with, is when you pass away, your funeral and final expenses. Mark, who's going to be in charge of taking care of your funeral and final expenses when something happens to you? Okay, in fact, have either one of you ever had to plan a funeral? The reason I ask is because it's a very serious issue. Now, the concern isn't that we're going to die, because we all will, right? But when one of us dies, one of our immediate family members has to face the funeral director immediately. And funeral directors nowadays require all or the bulk of the money up front on the spot before they will do anything. Or they want to know where the money is going to be coming from. Did you guys know that? A lot of families don't. And so while your family is waiting for that life insurance to come in, who has to take care of those funeral and final expenses immediately? That's right, your family. Or Beth, you do. You have to take it out of savings if you have it, or worse yet, you have to borrow it. So they've set up a freedom of choice certificate that takes care of your funeral and final expenses. The reason it's called freedom of choice is because it's good at any funeral home in the nation. Hold on. Now, the reason it's called freedom of choice is because it is good at any funeral home in the nation. Granted you qualify, because we'll both get a certificate that looks exactly like this. The way it works is, Mark, when something happens to you, Beth, you take this down to any funeral home you choose, and when the funeral director looks at you and says, Beth, I'm very sorry for your loss, but Mark's funeral is going to cost $15,000. How will you be paying for that today? At that point, you tell him, Mark has the freedom of choice. Everything from that point on will be taken care of. Okay? And what gets sent to the funeral director and doesn't get used gets sent directly back to your family at home. So Mark, Beth, it looks like Mark, they've set up $15,000. And Beth, it looks like they've also set up $15,000 for your funeral and final expenses. Like I said, what doesn't get used at the funeral home gets sent directly to your family back at home. So Mark and Beth, isn't it nice to finally have this taken care of? Exactly. Now, each of your children will get a $10,000 benefit that they get to keep with them for the rest of their lives, regardless of their health or habits. Those medical questions that I asked you in hand, they don't have to answer a single one of them. And that $10,000 can be converted up to $50,000 once they turn age 21, regardless of their health or habits. Now, pretty nice, right? Now, when we pass away before the age of 65, it's going to be most likely in some kind of accident, right? So, Mark, when something happens to you in any kind of accident, not only will they take care of your funeral and final expenses, but they're also going to send you an additional $180,000 to take care of your family. Now, when we die in an accident, what kind of accident will it most likely be? That's right, a car accident. In that case, they're going to send you $210,000 on top of taking care of your funeral and final expenses. That's because if you're in a car wreck, there's most likely somebody else involved. So it becomes complicated with lawyers and insurance. They want to make sure your family doesn't have to worry about during that time. Now, you guys have heard of common carriers, right? planes, trains, buses. When something happens to you when you're on a common carrier, they're going to send you $300,000 to help out during that time. So do you have any questions on these? All right. Now the third area they're concerned with is your paycheck protection. Now, Richard, say you're driving home from work and someone clips your motorcycle and you pass away. Does your income keep coming in? No, it disappears just like that. But Beth, the bills keep coming in. You want to put food on the table, you got to take care of the children. Those bills keep coming in month after month, right? Now, they know that most members have life insurance in place, hopefully around $10,000 or 10 times your annual income. But here's what happens in a typical situation. You immediately have to pay back those lump sums, first for reimbursement for your funeral and final expenses. And second, Mark, because your paycheck has stopped coming in, they have to continually dip into your savings to pay for the bills and put food on the table. In a few years of that, what has happened to all that money? That's right, it's completely gone. So this is your paycheck or readjustment income. So Beth, when something happens to Richard, they're going to send you a paycheck the very next month and every month after that for at the minimum of 1 year. The reason it's at least 1 year is because your family needs enough time to adjust. A few months just isn't enough time, right? So Beth, when something happens to Mark, they're going to send you $4,422 the very next month and every month after that for a full year. Beth, when that money comes in, is that going to be enough to take care of your family during that time? Of course it will. And when that life insurance comes in, then you'll be able to invest that into your future, retirement, and your children's education. Mark, when something happens to Beth, they're going to send you $4,100 very next month and every month after that for up to a year. Okay. Now, these have protections. This builds up a cash value. It's kind of an emergency fund, so after 3 years, if things ever do get tight financially, there is some money in here that will help take care of the programs. So you don't have to worry about it during that time. You can also take a paid up insurance benefit, which means when you retire or after 20 years, you no longer have to keep paying on these programs. You can take a reduced, paid up, final expense benefit that gets to stay with you for the rest of your life, and you no longer have to pay into it. Now, have either one of you guys thought about what will have happened when you get diagnosed with a terminal illness and have less than a full year to live? Well, they've given it a lot of thought, and they realize you're going to need a lot of cash. First, for the medical bills, and second is I know if I get diagnosed and have less than a year to live, love my job, but I'm going to be up with my family. So they're going to send you half of your freedom of choice and half of your paycheck protection while you're still alive. The rest gets sent to your family when you pass away. Now, strike and layoff waiver. These are there to protect you for an instance in a union strike. If you miss just 1 day because of that strike, not only will they cover your programs for the week, which would be $25, but they're going to take care of your programs for the whole month, which would be about $110. And as for layoffs, as long as you've been working for the past 12 months, they're going to cover your programs for up to 3 months. That way you can get back on your feet and you don't have to worry about these programs. And for both of those, you never have to pay that back. These should be out of sight, out of mind. And these benefits are guaranteed and non-cancelable. That means, granted you qualify, these will be active as of today, so you never have to worry about losing them. Even if you change jobs, move, or you get very sick, these will be there for you. In fact, if you do get very sick, they've put in something so you receive something while you're still alive. Now I've shown you what setting aside 1 hour will do for you and your family. Let's review it just to make sure it's clear. These hospital benefits will be there for your family. Your freedom of choice certificate covers you, Beth, and all the children for any cause of death, and is there until it needs to be used. Your paycheck protection and these protections here on the side make sure that you never have to worry about losing these. Even if you change jobs, get laid off, get very sick, these will be there for you and your family. Now, again, can you see why these are so important for your family? So my job is to let you enroll in what you qualify for. The best part about these is they're set up just like a payroll deduction, but only once a month and from your own bank account. That way they're under your control, not your employer's or your union's. And let's face it, there's only 2 times you really think about these kind of stuff. One, when I come out and explain everything to you guys, and 2 is when it's too late and your family member has to handle everything. Now, I do have to ask you a few medical questions to make sure you can still qualify, but the most important question I have to ask you, Mark and Beth, is there's a little over $450,000 in this program. Who would you like this money to go to? Cousin Zach? Okay. Z-A-C-H G-R-A-T-E. Zach Gray. That's your beneficiary. Okay. Now, most families, it doesn't matter to them which program you try to qualify for. Most families go with a 2-hour program. Some families ask if they can set aside more and try to double these benefits. That way their family's more protected. But some families do go for more basic program, that 1-hour program, which is what I showed you, knowing they'll upgrade later down in life if they can still qualify. So Mark and Beth, which program do you want to qualify for? Okay, while you're thinking about which program makes the most sense, I'll ask you those medical questions to make sure you can still qualify. Okay?